Doc. Good day, everyone. We are here to interview Dr. Edwin R. Celestino, the head of CPU office or the Planning Program Unit office, regarding our topic, developmental program. First question, sir. For your own opinion, what is development?
Development is essentially is an improvement from it's a progressive improvement of any given or a specific community. For example, from a poor community, you can make improvements through increasing income of community members. And that's essentially what I'm saying as improvement.
Sir, ang pinapasitaan ko sa school may development?
In the context of development, as far as school is concerned, we're talking about improving quality standards in terms of education.
Okay, sir. So second, sir, ano pa iyo alam ng mga developmental programs here in Northern Samar?
Northern Samar. Essentially, my experience before the academics, I was serving as in various capacity as research assistant at UP Spanish.
Ano ka po, sir?
And then I served as specialist and consultant in various governmental as well as international organizations. So if we talk about, the question is, what other developments that I know? For example, in the Philippine context, there are a lot of development programs or projects that are going on. For example, again, I talk about communities, and generally, we talk about development. We're referring to programs being implemented by both government and donor organizations. And these are again intended for alleviating the plight of community members who are at disadvantaged stage. So again, if you talk again, going back to development, we're trying to improve the capacity of communities, and not only in terms of financial capacity, but they should be empowered. They should be empowered. Ibig sabihin na dapat alam nila ang tahakin ng future. Because development, for example, assistance provided by various government agencies or even international organizations are short-lived. These are not permanent assistance. 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, tagal ng 5 to 6 years. So, ang real development is empowering communities. They should be empowered to take their own destiny. So that's development.
So, when it comes, sir, sa pag-manage, coordinate po sa developmental program, sino po ang tao na nag-manage or sakop sa developmental program?
Okay, in the first place, pag-usapan natin yung context ng university. Because we are all here as an academic institution. If we talk about development sa academy, there are a lot of persons or individuals that are directly involved. In the case of the PPU, Program Planning Office unit, we are in charge of crafting development programs. In fact, right now I'm assigned to package the 2015 to 2019 strategic development plan for the university under the new president, Dr. Filipino. But my concern is just literally on paper, because I am the one developing packaging and development plan. But the whole gamut of implementation rests upon many offices and individuals of the university. Foremost are the deans of the various colleges. And, of course, the heads of, for example, accounting, budget, the vice president for academic affairs, the vice president for administration, and many others. So these are the individuals or persons or officers that are directly responsible for
Professor, sir, involved in
yes,
that?
these are all holding professorship, because deans are exactly professors. Diba? Kasi ang dean is just a designation. But our official position is professor.
Ano ba mga process or mechanisms na ginagamit para po ma-improve ang mga program ever na nag-improve ang program?
Process.
Kakandak po.
First is you go into planning. And if you talk about planning, this is generally a participative approach. In other words, it's not only few individuals that are involved, but as much as possible, you need to have a broad representation of the whole. If you're referring to the academy, there should be sufficient representation among the constituents of the academy. For example, professors, of course, the heads of offices, others, representation from students, faculty, union, and non-academic staff. So this is one approach, trying to draw or generate broad information from among a group of individuals or officers.
Another process. Another process.
The process again is to go into the process of workshop. Nakakandak ka ng workshop. The plan starts with, of course, the vision of president, and then this vision is translated into objectives and then strategies. In the same way as the deans of colleges need also to come up with their own plans for the respective unit of colleges. Halimbawa, College of Arts and Communication did their own development plan. And all operating units or all academic colleges came up with their respective development plans. Now, after which this is presented before a group of individuals through the process of workshop, and then this is consolidated. These plans are consolidated by this office, by this unit. And that's the whole process. It's not coming up with a plan. It's not the idea of one individual. Of course, it is the president that initiates the planning. But the idea is generally not coming from the president. But he sees to it that the programs and projects are very clear, and these are being followed by, or are adhered to by the various academic colleges as well as administrative support units.
So, sino sir ang mga beneficiaries sa mga developmental programs?
Now, in the case of the academy, EP, the beneficiaries are, of course, first the students, Second, the whole population of these are all the beneficiaries. Even tricycle drivers, pedicab drivers, in partly are the beneficiaries of development.
Can you cite some examples of developmental programs na nani or yung ano na nililiit?
An example are the income generating projects. For example, yung corporate rice production located dun sa other side. Ano ba yun? Doon sa taas. Mayroong farm kasi doon. It's about 50 hectares. So this is one development project.
For students or for?
For the university.
For the university.
Now for the students, there are a number of development programs that the university has initiated. For example, these are funded by external funding coming from CHED. Yung about agri-business, this was implemented by the College of Agriculture, Fisheries and Natural Resources. Isang example yan. Ang funding niya galing sa labas. Pero yung mga internally funded projects, medyo marami yan. Yung Petron gas station, are you familiar with Petron?
Yes, sir.
Sa may papuntang Katarma, sa may Kawayan, di ba? A certain percent out of that proceeds, income naman, goes for scholarship.
The benefit.
Ang mga select students. Then the other one is yung water filling station. It's an example of a project where the university earns income. Tapos yung garments, textile and garments to cater to students' uniform. Ayun. These are just few examples of development projects.
Ang mga funds po ng mga ginagamit sa mga developmental programs, surely po ba 100% na nagagamit talaga sa mga programs or?
In the case of UEP, yes, they're all directly intended for development projects that were designed as such. Now, in other projects, for example, outside of the academy, I had the chance to work with the Asian Development Bank early this year. All projects were funded and were implemented for this project were intended for rehabilitation of victims of Typhoon Yolanda in Samar and Leyte. So lahat ng pera na nakalaan so far nagamit yun. Although hindi lahat ng projects ganun, diba? Kasi marami tayo nababalitaan sa TV ng mga issues. Pero so far kung usapin ng paggamit ng pera sa university, lahat yan ay nagagamit. And ganun din po sa mga projects na where I got involved, lahat naman nagagamit.
Wala naman po issue or sa university?
So far,
sa ano po, sa Northern Summer may po parang na developmental programs?
in Northern Samar, I'm quite familiar with yung HCAP noong 2010 na tayo. HCAP is, I forgot the meaning of HCAP, but it was funded by Japanese government. We were one of the NGOs that implemented HCAP, pero we were responsible for the agriculture sector. It was funded through the Asian Development Bank, amounting to 2.5 billion. and the beneficiaries were farmers in Katuli Valley. So this is all about increasing rice production in Katuli Valley. The other development project is the irrigation dam in San Jose, Casara, which was again funded by the Japanese government.
Paano ba nangyari yun? Paano ba sila nagkakaan sa nilakatan?
Financial assistance, because these are part of the so-called overseas development, ODA, overseas development assistance. And most countries do have this kind of assistance in the form of financing and in the form of technical assistance. There are a lot of development programs in the Philippines. For example, Japan is one. You have from Australia through OSAID.
Ano sir, OSAID?
Australian Development Assistance. Australian OSAID. Australian International Development, OSAID. So they are also funding several multi-million projects in the Philippines.
Ano nangyari kasi yun?
Yes, through the so-called USAID. Maraming development programs and projects that have been implemented in the Philippines, which are foreign assistance projects.
Pero sir, do you think po, maganda ba talaga ng development?
In development, you cannot completely say that lahat mag-develop. Kasi in the first place, before you start the implementation of projects, you only need to identify a number of so-called vulnerable beneficiaries. But these are all benefited from these projects. Once you are part of the beneficiaries, you would certainly benefit from these development projects. Kasi may criteria naman sa pagpili. Hindi lahat, example, Katarman, for example, a number of barangays in Katarman are beneficiaries. Now, even if one barangay is selected as one of your target beneficiary, not all of the population in that barangay would benefit. Diba? Kasi may mga pagkakataon naman na hindi lahat yung barangay na yun, bagamat mahirap, pero hindi lahat ng household talagang mahirap. So you would only select those that are very, very poor.
Nakalak po survey or...
Yes, there are one approach is to conduct survey, and the other one is you get the list from DSWD, kasi they are quite familiar with who are the poor, or the poorest of the poor in certain parts of the Philippines.
So, sir, saan po, ang third na Pamilyang Pilipino program, consider po ba itong siya na development program?
Yes. Again, kasi ano yun mayroong ultimately, objective kasi ng pantawid is iahon sa kahirapan yung mga beneficiaries. So, in terms of benefits, marami ang benefit yan.
Paano po sir kasi parang nagiging dependent sa amo po sa amo?
Yes, exactly. You're exactly correct. Kasi in the case of, for example, I'm doing farming, I can hardly find a laborer now. Mahirap maghanap ng labor sa farm kasi lalo na some of these laborers are beneficiaries of pantawid. Kaya there's a so-called theory of dependence. Theory of dependency theory. Yeah, dependent. In development, there is what they call a dependency theory. Ibig sabihin na kung hindi ma-handle ng gobyerno yung gano'n, na kind of assistant, chances are maging dependent na lamang itong mga tao ito sa mga dole-outs. Kasi ang pantawid is basically a dole-out. Ang kapalit lang, sige, ibigyan kayo ng pera, pero dapat yung anak nyo mag-aaral. Diba? Educational assistance, health assistance. Ayan ang mga. Although may mga mechanisms on how to control or protect funds. Kasi may criteria din sa pagpili ng beneficiaries. Merong criteria ang PSW. Dapat yung mga anak, certain age, dapat yun lang. Tapos,
Encourage po. Encourage po. Like scholar, di ba? Ano ba?
mayroon ang scholarship grant. In fact, ang UEP is a beneficiary of DSWP's scholarship program. Through yun nga, yung tunong aral yata. Hindi, I'm not sure, pero may. Kasi we're receiving certain amount from DSW. And these are all intended for scholarship funds. Para sa mga estudyante sa iyo.
Parang nagkakanta ka sila for seminar or ano mga core activities ng mga college students?
It is the university that initiates orientation.
Orientation na.
Orientation on how to go about the whole process of obtaining such scholarship grants. Tayo ang nag-i-initiate. There is a person assigned to this activity. Yung scholarship coordinator ng university.
Yung mga scholarship programs, development programs.
First is, as far as I know, mayroong tinatawag na diwa. Pagkatapos yung congressional fund, dalawa, at yung pangatlo, yung DSWD. These are sources of scholarship grants. Where, as I said earlier, UEP is part of those funds that are intended for scholarship.
MIAP, sir.
Ang MIAP is, municipal level.
Municipal.
Pero yung binanggit ko, yung DSWD, yung congressional funds, at saka yung DIWA, these are coming from national. Yung MIAP, municipal, ano ba ang meaning ng MIAP? Basta ano yan?
Scholarship sa Mondragon?
Yan. Pero local funding lang yan. Ibig sabihin, LGU led yan. These are just small scholarship grants. Ang mga medyo malalaki, apart from the three national scholarship programs or grants, kasama ang DOST dyan. But sa DOST, mataas ang kanilang qualifications. Kasi ang scholarship grants coming from DOST or the Department of Science and Technology are merit scholarship, which is quite different from the scholarship grants being provided by DSWD and the congressional funds. Yung galing sa mga congressman. Yung hindi merit scholarship yun. Kasi if you talk about merit, ibig sabihin ang criteria is grades.
Hindi ako po, diba, very good siya kung ano sa grades. Parang maging consider basta scholar ka. Okay ba?
Mayroong ganong klaseng scholarship. Yung sa PSWD, yung pantawid, hindi, they're not particular with grades.
But there on na failed and
As long as every semester, you pass all the subjects that you go. Pero sa Department of Science and Technology, diba? Kasi yan ang tinatawag na merit scholarship. Merit scholarship. There is a grade requirement. If you are not able to maintain certain level of grade, then chances are you won't be able to pursue your scholarship assistance from the Department of Science and Technology.
So, as a planning program unit office head, sir, ano po iyo main vision talaga sa nukaan? Dili po sa iitin as pag-conduct or pag-implement sa developmental programs.
Actually, we, as PPU, as program planning unit, we don't have our own vision because we only adhere to the vision of the university.
So, yun po kamo po niya point of view about the development sa Northern Summer or maybe Philippines na lang.
For Northern Summer, ang wish ko lang sana na sana umunlad na naman yung the province of Northern Summer per se. Kasi even when I was still at UP Los I was already quite familiar reading through magazines and some government reports that Northern Summer is always at the top 10 of the most poorest provinces in the Philippines. Hindi na siya maalis doon. Now, bakit kaya? Now, personal na pananaw ko lang, I would suppose this boils down to political relations. Kasi bakit yung mga ibang provinces mas maliit kaysa Northern Summer, maunlad na. Diba? Maunlad na. Samantalang ang Northern Summer, you have 23 municipalities, pero hindi siya maalis-alis sa listahan ng top 10 poorest of the poor. Ano? Parang number, if I'm not mistaken, lagi siyang nandun sa number 8, number 7, from among 10 poorest provinces. So, yun nga, wish ko, sana naman, nabago na yung ganun scenario. Kasi, ano na nasa 30% yung dapat maiba.